Is going to open up with a statement, and then we'll go to questions.
First of all, I want to wish Teresa a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Teresa. Also want to go on record saying this is a PG-13 press conference, so if you could watch your language. I'm just kidding. Listen, I just wanted to recap last week and project a little bit into this week. Obviously, we're pleased to come off a good result, and I was proud of the way the team stayed in the fight against Northern. That's a tough opponent and a tough place to play, and we were struggling a little bit early on defensively just to work to the stop, but was pleased with how the offense started the game and sustained through. Defensively, we caught up in the second half and really felt like the messaging to the team, and we had spoken about it a week ago too, was the ability to dictate terms, dictate energy in moments where the team needed rebound and recovery. And we saw that manifested on Saturday against Northern. Thought all three phases locked into place, and for as much as we've talked about that over the last couple of years, to see it happen and for our kids to experience it happening, I thought was a cool moment for the program. We're interested in building from that. Obviously, heading into conference play, we're going to, every week is going to be challenging now, and obviously we play a good opponent in Alabama this week, but my message and our team is going to continue to focus on us. It's about our highest level. It's not about who we're playing against. When you're in this league week in, week out, you're going to face the best. So our singular focus is on how we enhance our performance, continue our growth, continue our evolution as a program, so we're able to work to results on Saturday. And so we have a ton of respect for Alabama. We have a ton of respect for everyone in this conference and everybody left on our schedule. We're excited for this week, and we're excited to go down and compete with them. But again, our interest is in what we're doing and how we again manifest that best performance, or the performance we're capable of. So with that, I'm happy to open up to questions.
What can you take from coaching against Alabama in the CFP a couple years ago?
Well, there's it's not a great memory. That team was a really good team, and they've sustained that level of excellence over the years. Coach Saban obviously has risen to the top of our profession, and for good reason. He does a great job. He runs a disciplined program that's recruits well and develops well, and that was a frustrating day for me as a defensive coordinator. But there are similarities in the roster, similarities in the offense, but it is a new team, and so they have a different identity than the team that we played against in 2020, and so it's going to be a different game.
How close are you to him? Do you guys have any kind of relationship? You've been in coaching a while. He's obviously been in coaching a while. How close are you with Nick Saban?
Well, we've never really crossed paths, and other than just having a ton of respect for him. Obviously, now that we work in the conference together, we're acquaintances and see each other at the meetings and such. But a ton of respect there for him, and I enjoy listening to him talk about the game and and his angle on football it's fascinating, but not a deep relationship beyond just that level of respect.
Maybe a better trial by fire situation for a freshman quarterback making his first SEC start and going to Tuscaloosa?
Well, this is a little known fact, but my first SEC start was against Alabama. It was at home, and I was the up back on the 15-yard line, and whoever their special teams coordinator was smart, because in game planning for that game, this was my, I think third game of the season, they circled number 29 on the 15 and said, we're going to kick to that guy. And I was kicked to twice. I think I had a 10-yard return and a 24-yard return, both of which I was met by Coach Johnson halfway off the sideline. He was not pleased that his fullback was returning the kicks. But listen, AJ is there's no stage too big. I mean, he's shown it from the day he set foot on campus, the first practice, the first workout. I mean, he's going to learn a lot, and he's going to have to grow a lot, and there's going to be, mistakes made, because anytime you're playing a freshman, that you're gonna expect him to learn on the move. But I'm excited for him. I know he's excited to be the starting quarterback here, and so for him, it's not a matter of where we're putting the ball down. It's his focus on his job and what he can do to facilitate offensive performance, and I have a lot of trust in him in doing that.
The rest of the depth chart at quarterback, is Mike still your number 2? And what do you do with Ken Seals? Because he could obviously take a red shirt if needed.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all about what the team needs, and we're fortunate now to have 3 quarterbacks on our roster that have won games here for us, and that's a luxury. We also have experience and leadership in that room too, and so when you talk about AJ, kind of coming on as a starter here, he's going to lean on those guys for both their knowledge, their support. It's like having an extra set of coaches. Ken has handled himself as you would expect. I mean, he is an absolute embodiment of our program. His enthusiasm for what we're doing, his enthusiasm for his teammates, his day in, day out focus and preparation. If called upon this season, Ken will be ready. I know that. I got a ton of trust in him. But we wait and see how the year unfolds, And so, Mike obviously is on the ready, and he's proven himself this year to be a challenge for opposing defenses. And I've been really impressed and have a ton of respect for how he's handled the past week. And, those guys they're first class. And so, we'll continue to, evaluate what the team needs and be ready to make adjustments and adaptations as the season goes.
For all the freshmen who have played in 4 games already, is that they're not going to redshirt for sure? Is there any plans to, redshirt any of them?
Yeah, those are conversations ongoing. A lot of that has to do with the depth, and kind of dealing with the injuries the season presents. Certainly there are some that are playing, those guys that are in rotations offensively and defensively, are going to play for us. Where we have depth returning, we have the luxury to choose. But right now we want to get the best 11 on the field, and that includes on special teams. And so we're not going to hold back if we feel like there's a chance that one of our freshmen can impact winning. And some of those guys will be kind of shut down. A number of them will continue to charge on and play. And then there will be some that haven't seen action yet that will see action. So we're going to work to get 4 games out of as many of those guys as we can. Again, so long as they're able to get in there and impact winning.
Xavier Castillo, Miles Cecil, and any of the long-term guys, where they at Cox also?
Ben, day-to-day, questionable for the game, but hopeful for him. We're just seeing how he responds. It's not something that's specifically long-term, but we have to see how he responds. X is day-to-day too. Again, questionable for Saturday. We'll see how he comes along this week. Who else did you have? Miles Cecil, another one that's questionable for Saturday, but day-to-day. I mean, he's on a kind of his second week of recovery. We'll have to see if he can get out there with us over the next couple of days and mix it up. If he can, then we're going to be able to carve out some reps for him. If he can't, then obviously we'll we're coming up on a bye, so there's an opportunity to add an additional week to get better.
What about Rocco Griffin?
Day-to-day with Rocco, I thought I saw progress today. Again, same kind of story. It's a matter of him getting out there over the next couple of days. If he's able to do that, we're going to be able to find reps for him and carries for him. If he can't, we're excited for the fact that we back up to a bye week and can give an extra week there to recover.
With like Patrick Smith and Trio Berry and Marion Carter, do they have to re-earn playing time coming off, discipline, or since they've been practicing, do they come in?
No, they're available to play, and we're excited to have them back. And we're gonna, again, it's about, putting them back in ways that'll help our team and energize our team, and where we see areas for improvement, we're gonna count on those guys. Where where we don't necessarily have a need, then we hang on and find weight, and that would be like a couple of freshmen with Davion and Trudell. Those guys, we're going to see where they can fit in over time. We'd love to get 4 games out of them and give them a chance to have an impact this season.
Pass coverage has been an issue for about the last 2.5 games. How do you evaluate what's going on there? Where can you guys get better?
Well, there's really three things at play that I see. The first is just we're giving up too much space on the perimeter. So our answer to making sure the ball's caught in front of us can't be to be at depth at corner and pedaling off on the ball. Offenses now will expose you that way. We saw that to start the NIU game. The 2 plays on our sideline, that one of which ultimately led to the touchdown, those weren't spatial issues. Those were, the play extends and we got to plaster our coverage or stay in coverage as the quarterback extends the play. Those to me were more disciplinary things than they were structural things or technical things. But when you give up space on the perimeter, you're going to allow for the ball to be thrown and caught, and then it's about a one-on-one tackle at that point, and that's not a winning proposition. So we address that by design. So you can change leverages and responsibilities. Try to spread the hard down around the field. Certainly, you address that through fundamental technique. So we need to trust our technique on the field, and by that I just mean they're very specific things that each coverage and each call ask of our players. What's the leverage? What's the depth? What's the tempo? Am I pressed? Am I off? And if my depth is 1-by-7, I need to be 1-by-7. That's 1-by-7 off the man, not the line of scrimmage. So those kind of specific details, when they're handled well, set the coverage up for success. Obviously, when we deviate from those details, we expose ourselves to some of the spatial issues we've had on the field. And the third thing is just the varying of alignment. So, we may play off, and we may, really want to kind of protect and make sure that we're not giving up the ball over our head, but we don't need to show that before the offensive formation's aligned. So there's ways to vary those alignments to create a post-snap decision from the quarterback. I think all 3, need to be are a focus this week. All 3 we've kind of at times fell short on, and that means sometimes that structurally I don't know that we've set, as coaches, we've set ourselves up for success. I think about the Wake Forest explosive play as an example. That was a press corner with no help, and against a good receiver. We can design better than that and help. You help tighten down coverage and eliminate space. And when you see the ball getting out on the outside, a lot of times that has to do with conceding too much ground. And so the answer to that is to be more aggressive, but we can be aggressive while also being smart. And so, aggressive could be rolling the corner up and having a half-field safety. Aggressive could be, playing press and having a post player. There's ways to do that where it's not like you're press man 0 and, letting it rip. Those are things we're working through. And, obviously, this day and age, the perimeter is an easy place to get exposed. And so, I think the other point of focus is just having a confident mindset and an alpha attitude out there, and within that, trusting that technique and going and letting it rip. And we'll tackle our mistakes and line up and play again.
All that being said, Clark, does their quarterback have any weaknesses that you see on the ball?
Well, I mean, he's obviously very well regarded and well respected for a reason. I mean, he's got the ability to throw the ball in time. He's got the ability to run and create explosive runs. I've seen that. Obviously, we've seen that. And then, his ability to create and extend as well opens up some of the explosives, particularly in the pass game. And so, he's got an ability there to be in pocket and just to move subtly off his mark to evade rush. And he might have a square stance and put the ball in the air, and he can put it on the money. I mean, it's impressive. So we have to do a great job in our rush lanes. We have to do a great job in collapsing the pocket. There's learning for us in that from the NIU game where we, rush lane integrity showed up and their ability to extend plays. And then, we have to be disciplined in coverage down the field too, because as the down extends, we can't get our eyes back and try to find where he is. We have to stay on our man and stay in coverage to make sure that, we're eliminating the windows for him to throw the ball.
With the non-conference slate done at this point, it's all SEC from here, and you're starting off with the defending champ. How do you address, obviously it's 1 week at a time, but how do you try to address trying to continue building and growing the program as you fight through, this conference as tough as it is?
Well, this is building and growing the program. I mean, this is what we signed up for, and to me, I think there's kind of generally like a buzz around the program right now and excitement, and that doesn't mean that these games aren't challenging and that we're going to learn a lot about ourselves on Saturday, But I think we have a competitive team that has a belief in what we're building, and we know that ultimately this program wants to measure up against the best in the country, the best in our conference, and so. We're looking forward to it more than anything, and I think again, this is an opportunity for growth. This is the opportunity for growth for us, and so we're attacking it head on and excited for it.
They have some of the best pass rushers in the country. You guys have only allowed 2 sacks this season. How do you approach, determining how much help to give your tackles and stuff like that when they've been very good, but they also haven't played with Will Anderson?
Yeah, we have mechanisms that we can design in that are meant to slow the rush down, and I think we've actually, we've had better offensive line play this season in run and pass, which is a testament to the work they've done and what Coach Blazek's done and what Coach Lynch has done in design. We've also been way more disciplined pre-snap, and when you're disciplined pre-snap, you can do things that can create that can hold the tempo of the opposing front, and whether that's going on 2 or changing cadences or or holding the play. We've done a few of those things so far this fall, and that helps those guys too. You try to exercise every advantage you have each week that you play, so that teams aren't able just to tee off and let it rip. The other thing too is just way more, both with Mike and then this past week with AJ, way more ingrained in our system. So we have fewer protection errors because the protections are being called correctly, and that just is the expertise that comes with being in a system for 2 years. So we'll look to do everything that we need to do to neutralize that rush, while also, again, having a goal to get the ball out in the perimeter and sustain drives, because you can't change your identity based off who you play. We have to develop an identity and replicate that identity week in, week out, that unlocks our performance rather than just allowing them to dictate how we're going to play the game. And there's always strategy and there's always opponent awareness within that. But this is again about us. It's about what we do well, knowing where our weaknesses are, how we complement those, so that we can ultimately find the performance we're looking for.
Anything else? Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.